What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Gridiron, your Apollo HOU Houston Texans podcast. My name is Noah Outlaw, and one of your hosts. As always, I'm here with Garrett Harrelson. What's up, brother?
Noah, man, how the heck are you?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing swell.
Looking pretty cheerful, man.
Yeah,
I have
man.
a big smile on my
why.
face as well. I wonder why. Maybe
The
it's
Houston
because
Texans, man.
the Houston football Texans are 1-0, baby. Start the season off with a bang. That's a strong W right there, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was a strong W. It wasn't always pretty, you know what I mean? We had to grind it out. The Colts really came out and made some big plays when they needed them. Anthony Richardson had only nine total, passes the entire game, but completed every single one of them, and ended up throwing a few for really big gains and some big plays, and it ended up being 29-27. The Texans squeak it out there at the end due to C.J. Stroud just being clutch as all get out and really just getting it done when he needs to, which we've come to learn in his young career that CJ is at his best when his back is against the wall and he needs to get something done.
Yeah, clutch gene is there. Clutch gene. He wore his clutch jeans to the stadium that day. I don't know what brand they are. Probably like Affliction. Got him
Maybe a Kirkland.
With the jewels on the back. The jewels on the back.
Yeah,
Kirkland maybe.
That's true.
Kirkland maybe. Kirkland. They got the elastic band. Sits on your hips better. Sits on your hips better.
Yeah, really durable.
I mean, and they sometimes they got the little hammer loop right here. You can have your hammer right there if you're doing carpentry. I don't know, but the clutch gene is there, baby. The clutch gene is there. There's a whole lot to get into with this game. I feel like there's a lot to unpack. Obviously, this was full go. This is not preseason shit. This was full go. Playbook unleashed. Joe Mixon unleashed. Defense unleashed. Man, I mean, we can start from the top and talk about the coaching staff because. Noah, how impressed are you with the coaching staff this week one victory?
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of them because of kind of how it started. D'Amico and Slowick came in, and obviously this is week one. This is the first time we're really getting a full game of this new offense and this new defense, right? And there were some things that were working and some things that weren't. And then the things that weren't working very quickly, even before halftime, but going into halftime, they figured it out. They changed some things up. They changed some schemes. They changed, put guys in different spots, whatever it needed to be to figure out how to fix the issues that they were running into and then immediately just solve them. And it's just, I love how D'Amico works. I love how Slowick works. I love how this entire team operates. It's they're not set in their ways. If they got to do some mid-game adjustments, they're going to do them and do them really well. And we saw that today. Yeah. And also, I mean, the defense was looking, like I mentioned a minute ago, some big plays here or there. But overall, the prediction of the interior defensive line really coming to play and getting some success in the middle because of the focus being on Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. That was on display today. And so D'Amico Ryans, just hats off to just the entire coaching staff. It was incredible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like it all starts from the top, obviously. With a good coaching staff, with a good culture, you're gonna be able to play kind of exactly how you want to play. You're gonna execute exactly how you're gonna execute, and I feel like that's exactly what they wanted to do. Everything they wanted to do against the Colts going into yesterday, Sunday, they did exactly what they were setting out and planning to do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into every facet of the game. Noah, what did you drink before the game? What did you drink during the game?
Buddy, I had one too many Bloody Marys.
Don't shake your head. Is it that bad?
I was a Bloody Mary boy all game long, and let me tell you, I mean, walking back home after the game was interesting. I might have had one too many, but it was a great time.
That's a lot of sodium. That's a lot of sodium.
It's a lot of sodium.
I mean, if they're bottomless, though, what's sodium?
Yeah, they don't end. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not gonna not get another one that's bottomless. But
it's bottomless,
anyway,
like tap the glass.
What about you? What were you drinking during the game?
I had I got to the establishment, had a whiskey shot. Right. That's my thing before every game, whiskey shot, because I'm like, whoo, it's kind of like my smelling salt. It's my smelling salt, but it's way worse for you. It's way bad. It's way bad. Way badder.
Yeah,
for
terrible.
You. Yeah. Oktoberfest, just a cold Oktoberfest to start off, and then Lone Star Lights after that. So nothing crazy. Oh, you know what? I did have a frozen drink. It's called a frozen Woody. Don't know what was in it, but it was warm outside. I was sitting on the patio. It was warm outside. I thought, give me that frozen drink right there. I don't even know what that is. Give that to me. They gave it to me. Delicious. I felt great. I was having a great time. And also, I was out in Edo. Yesterday here in Houston, Texas. So many just Texan jerseys everywhere. It looks like they're pulling up to the game, dude. It looks like they're pulling up to the game. Just red. And there's new ones everywhere. CJ Stroud jerseys everywhere. Even ones like Tank Dell. It's Derek Stingley. Football is so back in Houston, man. It's so back in Houston. Pretty evident from yesterday. Just streets were flooded with Texans fans. It was awesome.
I was thinking about this just a little bit ago. I mean, Houston is such a football city. And through the downs of the Texans in recent years, and honestly throughout the most of the time the Texans have been a team other than a few solid years, even back with the troubled history of the Texans, I mean, there's been a lot of support for the Texans now in the past few years with the Astros being incredible and the Texans being shitty. We were looking more like a baseball town for a bit there, but I'm happy to see it. It's coming right back up. Houston is back to being a football city, and I love that. I mean, I'm obviously in New York, and I don't see a lot of Giants jerseys on Sundays. I don't see a lot of Jets jerseys either. It's just not the same up here, and they're not excited like we are.
Yeah, no, they hate their fucking teams. They hate them. They wish they would disband. Giants fans. I can only assume Giants fans want their team to disband. I mean, what a shit show. What a dumpster fire that's going on.
Yeah.
And the Jets are always the Jets, and New Yorkers just seem to hate their teams. The fans hate the teams. I don't understand that, because I would if I saw any Houston Texans player, like if I saw Henry To'oTo'o on the street and there was a gunman, coming after him, or a knife man or something, I'd get in front of him and be like, I would protect him with my body. I put my body on the line for Henry To'oTo'o.
I did not think that story was going there. I thought you were going to be like, oh, if I saw Henry To'oTo'o, I'd be so excited to get a picture.
That's just how jacked. A gunman. That's just how I'm jacked. I'm jacked up about the Texans, man. That's how jacked.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, it's a beautiful thing.
I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
We'll get into like the good and the bad and the ugly about the game. We'll start off with the good, man. You know what? Let's start off with the ugly. Because there's not a lot of it. So let's just run through it. Week 1 jitters. Yeah, sure, they're there. Mistakes. Some mistakes on the offensive line. False starts. I think Laramie had like 2 false starts, something like that.
Laramie did have.
He also wasn't really practicing and playing that much in the preseason. It was just shaking the rust off. Few holding calls, whatever. But other than that, pretty clean football. No turnovers.
Yeah, no turnovers.
I think maybe the worst thing. Go ahead.
CJ had a couple passes that might have been. Maybe should have been, a little bit. And obviously there was one where there was a really close call with that pick that, the guy didn't get 2 feet down, but it was like, I don't want to see that. I know it didn't count, thank goodness, but I don't want to see that. I just think
it reminds you how human he is still.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. We come out like all off season, we've been sitting with we're thinking about him like he's a superhero, and he is. Because also, by the way, he still didn't throw a fucking pick. He almost did, and we were like, oh, and we're talking about it because he almost threw a pick. Like, it's crazy. He's never thrown an interception to any AFC South rival.
Oh, I'm aware.
That's crazy.
3 of them.
Well, I know he's only had 5, and 3 of them against the Cardinals, right? But but still, it's just a crazy stat. It's a crazy stat for someone who's played a full season and in a one more regular season game in his career. Like that's just nuts. That's nuts. Anyway, but yeah. So other than other than maybe some of those, almost turnovers. Yeah, just the week one jitters are really the only thing I have in the ugly category.
And I guess. Yeah, and along with the week one jitters, I guess goes along with some defensive miscues. Obviously, they give up a few big plays against the Colts. You can't do that. You can't do that. No. That first Anthony Richardson throw, that touchdown throw rather, that was crazy. That was fucking crazy. Also, like, it's just how is Alec Pierce getting behind Jimmy Ward and Derek Stingley? It's just like that's the kind of stuff. It's like some defensive miscues. I don't think it was anyone was to blame specifically. I think it was more just like, look, week one jitters. Week one jitters in the secondary, and also how do you even? Sometimes you just can't defend. You don't have a defense against a cannon arm like that. A cannon arm like that Anthony Richardson has. That's special. Hard to defend against that. So, other than and maybe I guess the block punt. All of those wrapped up in one because they blocked that punt against us. That was, they sent the fucking house on that one. So
that was rough.
Can't have that happen late in the game. But other than that, man, there was just some clean football by the offense, coaching staff, coached up defense and offense. They had a hell of a game calling. That fourth and goal, right when we scored with Stephon, hell of a call. They dropped the nuts on that one. Dropped the nuts. You saw Stephon Diggs use that quote, by the way?
Yeah, I did hear that.
He's like, O-line dropped
that was a bar.
Yeah. I thought it was a bar too. Put that on a t-shirt. But yeah.
Dude, the O-line did. The O-line looked good. There were 4 sacks, but let me give a shout out. Let's move on to some good stuff. Let me give a shout out to Kenyon Green, man. He balled the fuck out this game. He showed up. He just looks, he's built incredibly different than the guy that we drafted 2 years ago. He looks like a different human being, and he showed it. He was incredible. He was one of our highest rated players PFF wise this week, like just like a top 5 player on the Texans PFF wise, which is incredible whenever you look at the other performances, right? When you look at CJ's performance, Stephon Diggs had 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon had 178 all-purpose yards. Incredible stuff. And Kenyon Green is right up there with him, and he's been a guy who gets a lot of doubt. Been really just questioned a lot because of he was such a high draft pick. He's a mid first rounder. So of course we've needed him to show up, and man, by the looks of it, he's figured it out because he looked incredible yesterday.
And that's huge. That's huge because he was a first round pick. He was a guy that he was one of the first round picks that we got from the number 4 trade for the Cleveland Browns. We kind of interior offensive line last year was not really an issue because of skill set, because of depth and injury. Had a lot of injuries on the offensive line last year, and we just kept getting like Kendrick Green was starting games as a guard last year. Like that is just like, imagine if we had Kenyon coming next year and he's the first round pick that we thought he was going to be. Looks like he's going to be, man. He looks great. No offense, Chad. What's up, Kush? What's up, Caleb? We'll talk to y'all here in a second, but Chad, the guy that we got was an A&M guy. No disrespect. Now the guy that we have is a Houston Texans guy. So drafting A&M guys sometimes hit or miss. A Houston Texans guy through and through. He's going to play.
It took 2 years to shake that A&M off of him.
Yeah, he had to shake off the Aggie out. Yeah, he had to shake off that Aggie.
Maroon. Sorry,
he had to get Panera out of his head or whatever y'all have to eat. I don't know.
Whatever they're eating.
In the middle of nowhere, dude. What do y'all even eat over
food? There? Yeah, they just eat I don't know what they eat. But no disrespect. No, all the disrespect. I hate them.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but it was just great seeing that. Let's get into this. Look, we knew that he was going to make a big impact. Whenever we made the trade, 7th rounder to Cincinnati for Joseph Mixon. And wow, what a fucking debut. The Texans have a run game again.
The streets were telling me that Joe Mixon is 28 and running backs don't last that long and they fall apart and they don't They aren't good after the age of 25 for some reason. That was the most carries that Joe Mixon's ever had in a game in his NFL career.
Yep.
The most carries, 160 yards off of 30 carries, and I think 2 receptions for close to 20 yards, something like that. So close to 170, 180 all-purpose yards in his first game.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's not washed. He looks like he's going to have the best year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might be an overreaction from week 1, but he was gashing. The O-line was giving him so many paths and lanes to cut around in and pick up. I mean, it looks like every carry it was just looking like he was getting 5, 6, 7 yards, and then he was so close to breaking one. So close to breaking one. He would get to the middle level and then get tackled, and it looked like he was just about to. If he can just get past that middle level, I don't think anyone can shake him in the open field. So, I mean,
I think there was something up with the field there.
There was. I mean, it looked terrible. Also, CJ, that first slip, which, by the way, shout out to CJ for slipping and still completing the first down conversion.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's just a point guard. You know, when they called Bryce Young a point guard at the quarterback position, CJ Stroud is actually an actual point guard. He just knows how to. He knows to do the ball in his hand. But he slipped on the paint from the logo, like on the field. Yeah. I think when they opened the roof, the sun kind of came down and it warmed up a little bit. And I think like the paint got a kind of moist.
Got a little melty.
Moist paint. That
moist,
you're slipping around.
Paint on my pokey shoes?
Yeah. No. And he was slipping around in it and like rolling around in it. And I'm like, get up, dude. Like, this is unacceptable. This is the Colts. What are y'all trying to do, dude? What are y'all trying to do? Even your quarterback was slipping and sliding.
I was about to say, I was about to bring that up. AR also slipped in this almost the same spot or a very similar way. But then he stood up, and then threw a 60-yard touchdown pass to Alex.
And then he threw a dime, and I was like, okay, that's bullshit. Yeah. But despite the field, offense was still able to move the ball pretty effectively. Let's talk about the offense. Let's talk about the offense because I saw a lot of great things from the offense, from the personnel group. What stood out to you, Noah?
Well, I mean, honestly, so much stood out to me, and I guess the best way to describe that is, look, this is what we've been looking forward to seeing. This is what we've been wanting to see. Stephon Diggs, I mention it quite often, but these slant routes, right? He had 6 receptions for 33 yards with the 2 touchdowns, right? He's just on these quick slants, getting quick yards. Nico Collins doing what he does best. Nico Collins, mind you, haven't really mentioned him, 6 receptions for 117 fucking yards. Another 100-yard game from Nico Collins. He does it like it's fucking clockwork now. Tank Dell, quieter day, 3 receptions for 40 yards. Like I mentioned, Stephon Diggs had the 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz was quiet, but he was still there, getting receptions and getting extra yardage when we needed it.
Used as a fullback. He was being used as a fullback a lot, Dalton Schultz.
Yep.
And it's used as a lead fullback.
Which I think is super interesting. And, British Brooks was making fucking plays. Sorry, I want to bring this up. British Brook was laying wood on special teams. Love to see that.
Yeah, he was. I didn't know they did that over in the UK. Head us. I mean, British Brooks. I mean, we thought it was awesome that he made the roster, and now he's just going to do everything he can to stay on the roster. And look at him on special teams, making plays, hitting people as hard as he can, stopping them. That's what I like. I like that dog mentality of like, you want me on this team? I'll do anything you need me to do, man. Anything you need me to do. And then we're like, okay, just annihilate people on special teams. And then he's doing that. So good for British Brooks. That's awesome.
And really what I saw from the offense the most, to wrap up that thought, is this was an offense yesterday that, look, CJ Stroud had a pretty average game for his standards, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is an offense that wasn't clicking on all fronts. Like, there was problems. There were rusty. It was week 1 jitters. And they still put up 29 points and were extremely successful. When this offense gets into the groove, and by week 3, week 4, week 5, it's just second nature to them. Watch out. I don't know what I don't know how any team stops them. I just don't. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, let's see one comment. What do you think about Dameon Pierce's 3 rushes? I mean, the 3 rushes that he had, he made the most of his opportunities with that. And I feel like he also got more yards than he did the entire preseason. So promising, but also Joe Mixon is the clear star at running back. When was the last time the Texans had average number? Yeah, I'm reading that right now. 5.5 yards per carry. Or what was the stat line for yesterday for Mixon? Well, I mean, it was 30 rushes, 160 yards, 159, I think exactly.
159 yards.
Caught a few screens. He's going to be used in the screen game. I mean, it's clear that we found our run game. It's clear that we found our running back, the one that we wanted. There was a lot of talk like, let's draft a running back. Oh, let's sign Saquon Barkley. Oh, let's do this. Let's do that. Turns out we just needed to send a 7th round pick in Cincinnati for Joe Mixon, and then we have a Pro Bowl running back. So I don't know. Good for Nick. Good for Nick Caserio, just still cooking like
highway
that.
robbery.
It was highway robbery. And I look at the Bengals yesterday, and I'm like, y'all didn't do anything.
Want him? Y'all didn't want
this guy. And I think he said something about he was saying some spicy shit about Cincinnati before the game yesterday about how they left him out to dry, and I'm like, man, well, I mean, you got us now, baby. You came, we welcome you with open arms, baby. So I mean,
no, he's home, baby.
Specials. The run game is going to look special this year. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, this is probably the best run game the Texans have had since. I mean, definitely since. I mean, maybe since like Lamar Miller. I mean, maybe he was another guy who was somewhat this good,
maybe
but he just
Carlos Hyde.
But really, like what it's looking like it's going to be is like probably the best run game we've had since Arian Foster was here. Really,
Ooh.
I mean, and that's been a really long time. But that's just kind of how the situation with running backs have been in Houston, and so we got a guy like Joe Mixon now, who really seems like he's going to be that next great kind of Texans running back. At least because he's here for a while, man. He's here for the long haul. I think he on a 4-year fucking deal or something right now.
Well, Joe Mixon got a 3-year extension. I don't know if that's added on to any other. I don't know if that's added on to any other years that he has left. I'm not sure when he would be a free agent about that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's a reason. We were pretty confused. We were pretty confused why Joe Mixon got a 3-year contract. We were like, okay, that's, all right. He's not. We're not going to have him just like as an experiment year. No, I think I'm pretty sure we knew what we have with him.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just keep him on our team as long as possible. Make him a Texan for the rest of his career potentially. Yeah. It's a win-win for both. It's a win-win for both sides. So, I mean,
and get him a Super Bowl ring.
Fucking A. Get a lot of these guys a Super Bowl ring, including Stephon Diggs, which had his 2 touchdowns. He's looking good. He's looking great. And let's just kind of round out the offensive talk with CJ, who was again making unbelievable throws left and right. A deep the thing I love about CJ Stroud and his play style is there is a clear skill set that he has, and that is just he can make any fucking pass that he wants. Any pass that he wants, he can make it. Deep pass to a seam route to Nico Collins with 2 guys like covering him, just like blanketing him, covering his eyes, basically. Yeah. That's a perfect pass right there. Or how about like a slant to Stephon Diggs, like, or this and that, or to end the game, essentially to ice the game, a perfect 3rd down conversion right down the sideline to Nico Collins, just perfectly placed where no one else can get it except for him. CJ Stroud can make any throw he wants. He can make any throw he wants, and that's his skill set. And I mean, that's what Tom Brady was good at. It's what Tom Brady was good at. That's what like most of these greats were good at. And like I'm just so again, I just words cannot express how excited I am to watch this guy every week for the next 15 years as a Texans fan.
Yeah, I mean, we're incredibly lucky, incredibly blessed to have him at the helm. And man, I mean, we build this team around him, and this is just a preview of 29 points of offense. It's just a preview of week 1. I can't imagine where this team's going to be mid-season. I mean, I really can't. So,
yeah, no, I was talking about it off camera with producer Josh. I was saying, I was like, last year, or usually with week 1s, you won't ever know what team you have until about November. I think we both agree on that. Week 1s, it's always just like last year, week 1, week 2, we didn't look like the 10-7 playoff team that we eventually were and became.
Yeah.
If we were only going to get better than yesterday, man, deadly. That's deadly right there. Wow.
It's a top 2, top 3 team in the NFL.
Yeah. So,
that's true.
If we're only going up from here, then we are going to be a menace in the AFC, and that's just exciting. Yep. That's just exciting right there.
It's so exciting, and this offense is the highest. The sky's the limit for them. And let's move on to the defense just here for a few, and then we'll get out of here. But I mean, the defense, other than obviously the big plays we've mentioned, but overall did a solid job of handling Anthony Richardson and handling the Colts in general. Danielle Hunter, his first game as a Texan, Will Anderson, in his second year. Both of them looked, you mentioned, you sent a text that cracked me up. It was Danielle Hunter's bull rushing for his life out there. You know what I mean?
It was just, on that one play that Anthony Richardson launched it for the touchdown, Danielle Hunter, I thought he had that sack all the way. That right tackle fucking was just like that right tackle, like I think maybe shit his pants because on that play against Danielle Hunter, because Danielle Hunter was just pushing him and pushing him, pushing him. And then, I mean, obviously, A-Rich uncorked one and before he got to him. But there were some good things from the defensive line, obviously. There's some good things from the defensive line. Hey, you called it. You called it, Mario Edwards and Foley, being dogs. I mean, and yeah. I mean, also they bottled up the run extremely well. Well.
Well, that was a big talk going into this game, right? Was stopping Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor has given the Houston Texans trouble every single time that he faces us, and that was just not the case yesterday. 48 yards, he had a touchdown on 16 carries, but I mean, holding him to under 50 yards when I think in his last 4 games against us, he's had over 150 each time. We'll take that. We'll take 48 yards and a touchdown.
We take those. Yeah, dude. We take those.
That whole defensive line, and you mentioned Mario Edwards and Foley Fatukasi, who both of those guys won these starting jobs, came onto the team, fresh faces. A lot of people didn't know anything about them, right? And then words out of camp is that these guys are playing incredibly well. That in this D'Amico defense, stop me if you've heard this one before, but I mean, in this D'Amico Ryans defense, D'Amico gets the best out of these veteran, journeyman type guys, and Mario Edwards and Foley are no exception. And they came out and both had a sack in week 1 because Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson everyone has to focus on them. So the middle of the line, oh my God, just free reign. They have free reign down there, and they're just getting shit done, and we love to see it.
Yeah. And watching those guys and watching the interior defensive linemen develop throughout the season, it's going to be really fun because there's going to be in my opinion, there's going to be a very clear guy who breaks out. I don't know who it's going to be yet. It might be Mario Edwards. It could be Khalil. It could be anyone who's kind of rotating in and out of the defensive line, interior defensive line. But there's going to be one guy that emerges as wow. I mean, this guy has had a great year. I feel like there's going to be one guy because D'Amico is really good fighting hidden gems like that. So, I mean, it's just going to be fun watching them develop until Danico Autry comes back, obviously. So he should be back week 7. I mean, watching those guys play was fun. They had a great game against the run. Other than the 3 big plays that Anthony Richardson had or the Colts had, we did so well defensively. And then Anthony Richardson actually had a terrible game. Other than those 3 huge plays, he had a terrible game. Dude, he completed 9 passes. 9 passes against us. And he threw it. He didn't even throw it 20 times, I don't think. So
no, he threw it 19 times. Yeah.
Clearly, there's something going on with the Colts offense, and they're gonna have to figure something out because without those big plays, you're not gonna be able to move the ball. You're not gonna be able to do anything. Yeah. But I think maybe it's also just a testament to how great this defense is coached and how well they play. Hey, and Caleb Jeter says, shout out to Kalen Bullock. I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be great too, man.
Shout out CB, man, getting that pick into his first NFL game. Just a guy who not a lot of people really paid attention to. He was a later pick. I mean, he was a mid-round pick, but later in the draft, not a lot of talk about Kalen Bullock before this past draft, and he showed up to camp, looked good, and look at that week 1, getting his opportunity and getting the pick. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that. That's huge. He was talking about just how he didn't sleep the night before the game. he was in the in the interviews after the game. He was just too excited, and all he was doing was just couldn't wait to play. And I mean, he got out there, man. Really, an interception in your first career NFL game.
That just warms my heart hearing that. That warms my heart because, obviously, I think he's going to be. I've said it a bunch of times. I think he's a steal in the draft. I think he's gonna be great. He's just 6'3" Earl Thomas running around out there making insane. That pick that he made was crazy. I mean, I don't know how he held on to it. It just sailed past the receiver and he just kind of caught it. His cat-like reflexes caught it and kind of rotated to get under the ball and actually trap it against himself. I mean, that was good for him. Secondary actually did play, other than, like I said, the big plays, played well. It was just across the board, just clean football, man. It's just clean and fundamental football. That's what you want to see, man. What you want to see with a talented team like this.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think we might wrap it up. I mean, the Texans won week 1. We got a long season ahead. A lot of football to be talked about, but it was nice to come in, and we expected this win. I think that's fair to say. I think we really walked in and said, look, we need to win this game, as the Texans do. And I really didn't expect – I really didn't see a world where we lost that game, to be honest with you. So I'm happy it worked out the way I thought it would. Yeah.
The better team wins, yeah. So, I mean, and also I'd like to point out that I think I had something to do with it.
Oh, really?
I think I had something to do with our week 1 victory. And a lot of people didn't like this. I wore a battle red Matt Schaub jersey. Posted it on my Twitter. It got a lot. It's funny. People thought it was a joke. Me laying out my game day fit the first day of school. My battle red Reebok Matt Schaub jersey. I thought it was hard. I was like, this is my hard fit, dude. Watch out for tomorrow. Ladies.
It was a hard fit. I liked it.
Everyone was like, this is hilarious. I'm like, I'm not fucking joking around. I wore that yesterday and we won. People were at the bar, when we were winning, people were like, hey, nice jersey. And I don't know if they're being facetious or not, but I'm like, and I'm like, I mean, when you wear the legends like Matt Schaub, I think good things happen. I think I helped to manifest. I helped will the Texans to that icing the game in that last drive, and kneeling it out. I don't know.
You absolutely did. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna wear my Tyrann Mathieu jersey.
A lot of
I think so. And you know what? At the store, I saw a Jabbar Gaffney jersey, so I might get that and wear that next time. Actually, the Jabbar Gaffney jersey holds a lot of power, holds a lot of wisdom,
dude. Pulling out the Tyrann Mathieu jersey would be crazy. That would be.
I'm gonna do that next weekend. We're gonna do that next weekend. My deep steel blue Tyrann Mathieu jersey.
Okay. All
right. I feel like it's gonna help. Until I get a new jersey, obviously.
Of course.
So. Next time, guys, we're gonna run it back with an old Texan legend. So.
All right. I will wear my Davis Mills jersey to next week.
Nice.
Wear this one and get it going. Maybe there's power.
Hey, man, it's one of the best backups. It's one of the best backups in the league.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the best backup in the league. I don't know.
He might be, dude. Honestly, someone needs to be giving him a ring. The Carolina Panthers need to be giving him a phone call. Or the Browns.
No, I don't know. No. He would much rather be making $5 million as a backup on the Texans than going to the Panthers and playing as a starter.
Oh my god, 100%.
Yeah. That's what I would pick. Are you kidding me?
Oh, of course. He's gonna get a Super Bowl ring here.
And you know what else I would pick over anything in the Houston area? I'd pick Big City Wings over everything in the Houston area. Ooh. Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. I know they were filling out yesterday, and the Big City Wings and the marquee location. They were big time. A lot of Texas fans were flooding in and out. I mean, it's a good, the weather. If the weather's so beautiful, let's go to Big City Wings, have a few beers, have some fried pickles, have some wings, watch some football, man. So thank you for powering this episode of Off the Gridiron. Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Paul's wing joint. Go to Big City Wings.
Hey, go to Big City Wings tonight to watch Aaron Rodgers take on the 49ers. I can't wait to watch Aaron Rodgers play football tonight. I've been waiting a year on this because obviously we know what happened last year. So I can't wait. I think he's going to come out and fucking sling that thing, and I can't wait to watch. So definitely go to Big City Wings to check out that game. Also,
yeah, go to Big City Wings.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and subscribe. All that good stuff lets us know that you like what we're doing. We're going to be doing these live streams every Monday after the Texans game, or maybe not Mondays. Obviously, whenever we have a Monday night game, it'll be on a Tuesday and whatnot. Or so keep up with it that way. But we're going to be doing these, so tune in to these. These are going to be a lot of fun, especially as the season runs along and the playoffs get a little closer and everything. We're going to be feeling the heat. And these live streams are going to be a lot of fun.
And so, if you have a thought or a comment, throw it out there in the chat. I see our buddy Jerry. Jerry's been saying stuff. Kush's been saying stuff. So don't be afraid to throw out some comments. Throw out some hate to us. I love the hate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's go.
No hate.
But thanks for tuning in today, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. The chat's always a lot of fun. And other than that, guys, we're about done. Go Texans. We'll see y'all later.
Go Texans.